It's your boy CL Smooth back with another episode of Everyday Gumbo.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I am.
We're back with a quick update of what's going on in Montgomery, Alabama. The police department has held a press conference as of yesterday, giving an update as to what's going on with the investigation. There has been a line drawn in the sand of who is the suspect and who are victims. Take a listen.
The victims in this case, the co-captain, Mr. Damian Pickett, black male, and a 16-year-old white male juvenile who was struck by the owners and operators of the private boat. The suspects thus far have been identified as Richard Roberts, white male, 48 years old, with 2 outstanding warrants for assault, 3rd degree. Alan Todd, white male, 23 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. And Zachary Shipman, white male, 25 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. We have instructed those individuals to turn themselves into law enforcement, and as at this time, 1 is secured and in custody. The other 2 are set to turn themselves in within the next hour. We're also asking for Mr. Reggie Gray, the black male, 42 years old, who was seen wielding that folding chair, to contact the Montgomery Police Department for further interviews and as part of this investigation. As the mayor said a minute ago, this investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely. We want to thank the public and the media for supplying the much needed evidence and video surveillance that we've received, and it helped us to determine the facts as they happen.
Now, from my understanding and what I take away from this is there was a 16-year-old white Caucasian male who was actually trying to de-escalate the situation and stop the actual brawl from happening. And he was struck by the other white Caucasian males or members on the private boat who was docked illegally and blocking the way of the riverboat. Upon further review, they also want to speak to who I referred to in my last video as Uncle Charles. His name is Reggie Gray or Green. I wasn't too clear or specific on the actual pronunciation of the last name, but I believe it's Reggie Gray, aka Uncle Charles, who was out there whacking motherfuckers for the WWE Extreme Rules Championship match belt. He also needs to turn himself in or come down for questioning. But that's the news that we have so far, and I'll definitely keep you updated with further details as they occur. Also in current news, Tory Lanes, also known as, or better known as, Daystar Peterson, was sentenced to 10 years in prison due to the shooting of Meg the Stallion. Now, what's interesting behind that is he was found guilty, and the jury of his peers, even though we all pretty much know and believe that he pretty much didn't pull the trigger in this incident. It is speculated and believed to be the friend or ex-friend of Meg the Stallion who actually pulled the trigger and shot Meg in the foot. And you can say that Tory was the one that was screaming in the background, dance, bitch, dance, or whatever the case may be, whatever. But my thing is, and my takeaway from that whole situation was that if you know better, you do better. Number one, you're not even a citizen of the United States of America. You're a Canadian. So there should be no reason whatsoever you should be involved in any crimes of any sort over here on our soil. On top of the fact, you have celebrity status. Money doesn't get you out of everything. It just doesn't. So you should have knew better and did better. You should never even had a gun in the vicinity of your presence. That's the reason you have security for. If you have unarmed security, if you have armed security, then that's one thing. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Then that's, you get pulled over, whatever the case may be. Oh, that's my security's weapon. You know what I'm saying? And this, that, and the third. You had an unregistered gun in the car with you. The car is registered in your name. Who else the fuck the shit gonna fall on? It's gonna fall on you, bro. You was tweaking. So I'm not gonna necessarily say, hey, he deserved this shit. But at the same time, he deserved this shit. I'm sorry. But check this out.
Tory, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, was sentenced to 10 years in prison for firing a gun at Meg and leaving her with bullet fragments in her feet.
The sentence handed down was incredibly harsh. Really just another example of someone being punished for their celebrity status.
Megan's powerful victim statement was read aloud in court yesterday. She says she still can't bring herself to be in the same room as Tory. She's spiraled into a dark place and will never be the same. She also wants the judge to send a message because, quote, mercy can only be granted to those who accept responsibility. I spoke with Tory's attorney, Jose Baez, who says his client is suffering.
Yes, he's innocent.
He did not shoot the gun.
Correct.
Is your client remorseful?
He is incredibly remorseful and ashamed and embarrassed that all of this happened. He's in solitary confinement 23 hours a day. He can't even go to take a shower without chains. It's essentially a living hell.
8 witnesses who were called into court to speak on Tory's behalf. 2 were recalled by the defense, and there were many others who wrote letters, like Iggy Azalea, who explained her support for Tory by saying that she's all for prison reform, not throwing away anyone's life.
Sir, did you have any comment going into today?
Once again, Tory's dad was in court to show his support for his son. Before his sentencing, Tory spoke for several minutes, saying he still cares dearly for Megan, despite what she may think of him. Like Tory, Megan also lost her mother, and he talked about how the two bonded by drinking until they, quote, got numb. It was an emotional day for Tory's supporters. There will be an appeal no matter what.
Everything one step at a time.
I want to talk about Smack going on camera and saying that they're going to go back to dropping battles on YouTube. This is huge news for the simple fact, with the deal and cooperation of Caffeine for the last 3-4 years, you've been giving out free content and transferring it over straight to the app, the URL TV.tv app. And a lot of people didn't like it. It's behind the paywall. You have over 1 million subscribers on your YouTube channel, and that doesn't translate to your subscriptions on the URL TV.tv app. Also, it needs to be mentioned that the URL was against going back to YouTube and putting content on the YouTube channel because they had been there, done that type situation. And it was also said that there is no money to be made on the YouTube page. So as of recently, with everyone having gripes about not getting exposure, not getting paid, thanks to Caffeine and the budget that they have, and you being able to pay people exuberant amount of money to be on the free content platforms that you was providing for free, you in turn now have to bite your tongue and go back on your word and come back to a platform where you said there is no money to be made. It was said that you have to read the room. And reading the room goes into one, first and foremost, is understanding your consumer base, understanding the consumer, understanding what the fans want. You have to start there first, right? So the fans are screaming and clamoring for YouTube content because they're not more prone to buy the subscription on the URL TV.tv app when everybody loves free stuff. I want to be able to go back and watch these battles whenever the hell I want. And I can with the URL TV.tv app, but for the most part, it's just not really worth it. Because if you're hiding everything behind the paywall, you're having these caffeine events, and you're going to shove everything behind the app, and now you're forced into a position where you have to charge the fans and the consumers for these battles now, when it used to be free. What sense do it make for me to overpay or double pay to watch it live on caffeine for a price when I already have a subscription to the URL TV.tv app, and eventually it's going to get dropped on the app 2 months later, give or take. So you're not actually reading a room. It was also said that Smack himself said that he's going to drop possibly 2 to maybe 3 battles prior to this coming Summer Madness or leading up to. So it's possibly battles from basically this year. And a good suggestion is that it's going to be possibly battles that are of artists or battlers that is on the card, right? That too, I disagree with, and it don't make no sense because you're already lacking huge promotion for this event anyway. There is no promotion whatsoever leading up to Summer Madness whatsoever. It's no promotion. And if you're going to drop battles that is basically prior to and leading up to Summer Madness, any battle that you're going to drop is going to be lackluster. You're going to have Tay-Rock versus who? Squeako or whatever the dude's name is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You're going to have a random shotgun battle. You're going to have, the 3-on-3 shotgun, arse, O-Red. Like what are we doing here? One battle that was mentioned is a good idea, which is drop the Pat Stay battle, right? It also helps keeps Pat Stay memory alive. You can also tag it with the GoFundMe that he did or his family did have that was up to help generate more people to donate to the GoFundMe to keep Pat Stay's memory alive. You can do that. That's a good idea. I agree with that one. My suggestion would be drop an easy battle. Number 1 is an olive branch. You're putting the information out there, or you're putting a suggestion out there that, okay, we heard and understand your gripe, where you stand and what's going on currently between us, but we can still make money together. Let me put out one of your battles or some of your content as an olive branch for you to say, okay, you can come back over here and make money over here. Is a win-win. You make money, we make money. Also, in a sense, hey, we need you. We're suffering because the matchups that we're putting together doesn't really make sense and it's not hitting. We need you. So put an easy battle out. You have to do that. Like, Have to do that. Number 2, put out a K-Shine battle. That's also a person that you also need on the platform. People are going crazy to see K-Shine. At this point in this time, they want to see K-Shine. These are 2 artists that you definitely need back on your platform to get your ball back rolling again. You need this. Those are 3 of the 2 that you possibly say that you may put out, in my opinion, that I think that you need to put out. Last but not least, want to give a shout out to all my brothers in my community. It's my community. I mean, I'm not saying like it's mine, like I own it. I'm just saying I'm a part of it. So that's what, sorry. But shout out to my brothers in my community. You know what I'm saying? In no particular order. Shout out to Fred. Better Rap His Life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Fred got a channel. I don't know if he do content or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm new. I'm learning the ropes. So forgive me, Fred, if I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll figure it out and give you a proper shout out. But if you know, then you know. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Fred. Next up, my boy Killer V over at Let's Talk About It. Bro is 100% down to earth, a great dude. I love him to death. That's my man. V is he's 100. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Killer V over at Let's Talk About It. Next up, Sharp King. Shout out to Sharp King over at Sharp King World. Get in tune. I'm gonna say this. Sharp is one of them ones. He's a mercenary. Can't necessarily call him a battle rapper. He's just a mercenary. He kills shit. You know what I'm saying? I dare any one of you motherfuckers to step up and act like you got bars. I got money on Sharp. You gonna die. So shout out to Sharp King World. You know what I'm saying? And last but not least, as always, is my boy over at Battle Rap Rankins. Shout out to the Rankins. You already know the vibes. That's my brother. Like I always say, he the motivation behind all this. He keeps me pushing. So that's my time. It's your boy CL Smooth. Back with another episode. Everyday Gumbo. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell whenever your boy get back in tune. As always, I'll see you on the next one.